What is going on, Hive Warriors? So today we're going to talk about why is fat loss so darn slow? Or why does it feel so slow? And to do that, we're going to go ahead and jump into this video first, and then I'm going to go ahead and break some stuff down. Now, this gentleman here, I did watch this video. He does a kind of, he uses a metaphor with the bottle and explains metabolic slowdown or metabolic adaptation or adaptive thermogenesis, whichever one you want to use, to explain the components of where we burn calories each day. The components of where we burn, I think he was trying to say why we burn calories each day. Okay, I'm confused by that. If your calorie deficit stops working, it's probably no longer a deficit. That's what he is saying. So this could be the case. Sometimes you do hit a wall. Sometimes there's a lot of different things on the scale. That's why you always have to use so many different points of measurement, like your body, clothes, how they fit on you, how belts, the notches on your belts, things like that. All right. Let's go ahead and watch this and let's discuss.
This is the amount of calories you burn in a day. Let's say up to the label is your BMR, the amount of calories you burn at rest through breathing functions, metabolism. So then we've got the sticker part here, and we'll say this is eat and neat, gym training and non-planned training, okay?
So eat and neat. Exercise activity thermogenesis and non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Literally just little things like when I talk and I'm always moving my hands. That's non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and exercise activity thermogenesis is when you go to actually do active exercise like jogging, resistance training, etc.
Okay, so this is the amount of calories you burn in a day. Should you put yourself in a deficit and you start to lose body fat, the amount of calories you burn on a daily basis would reduce. If you lose fat, you become a smaller, lighter entity, so this bit would shrink, right? You probably reduce your NEAT, your step count would drop a bit in a deficit over time.
Yeah, you will probably reduce your body reduces your NEAT because your body, subconsciously, you start to do less things. You start to take a little bit more naps sometimes, reducing your ability to increase your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You just start doing less. You start moving less as your body is trying to preserve as much energy as possible and be as efficient as possible. Your body's actually doing this. It's triggering this event because of the fact that you're losing weight. Your body is trying to keep you alive. Contrary to what you might feel, your body wanting to keep fat on you is actually a self-defense mechanism for in the event that you cannot find food, that you're not able to kill an animal and eat the animal, whatever, you can still live off of your fat until you can find food. So there is a reason. Your body is doing it because it cares. Let's put it that way.
The amount of calories you burn in training as you get fitter is going to drop over time. And because you're eating less, you're thermic effective eating.
That's true, yeah. You're going to be more fit. Your cardiovascular, your resting heart rate, your heart rate during exercise is going to get better. So you're going to be more fit. So you're going to burn more calories. And plus, you're going to be lighter. So you're not going to be expending as much energy just to do things that you did in the past.
Would slow down over time. So, you might have started. So when your calorie deficit stops, it's because you as a person burn less calories. You're a smaller, fitter person than you were before.
Okay, cool. So basically what he said was you are fitter, you're smaller, and I guess that's it in terms of the changes. You're fitter and you're smaller, therefore you're expending less energy. Therefore, for the same activity that you were doing before, it will require less energy from you because you're more efficient with your energy expenditure. You're more fit, so you're able to do those things at a high level without expending as much energy, which would normally mean that you could either increase your energy output, or you can decrease your caloric intake. The easier route to go is to decrease your caloric intake, but a lot of people don't like doing that because it's when you get a good groove on what you're eating and the things you're putting together, you don't necessarily want to go like even lower, right? You want to keep the flow going. You want to keep that groove going. So maybe for some people it might be easier to increase your output, but I'll tell you this: increasing your output is going to be much smaller in terms of the calorie balance than if you were to change your diet. Now, I want people to understand a few things here. This is basically metabolic adaptation in the sense that because all of these things are taking place, you will inevitably burn less calories for each different activity. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis is just going to reduce because your body is going to subconsciously make you move less. Exercise activity thermogenesis is going to reduce simply from the fact that you are more fit and it's easier for your body to do these things now. They don't have to expend so much energy. So many different things. Your body's going to weigh less, so you're going to burn less to move your body around, to do the simple things that you did before. And even with exercise, it's going to be less energy required. So all of that creates this entire mechanism that forces your body to expend less energy. So it is possible that when you hit a wall, it is because you are no longer in a caloric deficit. Now, when people do intermittent fasting and they hit this wall, they don't understand it, because sometimes when people do intermittent fasting, they remove themselves from the caloric conversation. They are at a caloric deficit, even if they are not paying attention to it. And that is the dangers, or that is the problem that could arise with intermittent fasting, is that if you could be at a caloric deficit simply from the process of fasting, but then you could get into points where if you really want to tackle the belly fat, because belly fat is usually one of the last things to go, and that lower belly fat and all of that stuff, you really want to tackle it, that means you have to just be consistent with your diet. And consistency doesn't just mean eating exactly what you're eating. It also means understanding when you're no longer in a deficit and then changing that diet and decreasing the calories to continue to push forward. If you're doing intermittent fasting and you're not measuring calories in any way, shape, or form, and you just happen to have gotten into a caloric deficit, when you hit a wall, that drives people crazy, because they don't think of the concept of calories. They just think of the concept of fasting. They're like, I didn't change my fasting. I've continued to fast. Is it that I'm adapting to the fast? Is it that the fast doesn't work anymore? But in reality is, you never really checked your calories. You never really understood how much calories you were eating. You just happen to have been in a caloric deficit up until now. And now you need to start to shift to something else. You need to start to reduce your calories so that you can continue to burn. Also, sorry. Also, I do want to mention that when you are losing body fat, sometimes you're still losing body fat even if it doesn't reciprocate itself on the scale. You're losing body fat in the sense that you might have water retention, you might have some glycogen buildup, whatever it is. Even though with glycogen, when you're fasting, that might not be the case, considering that you're depleting it every time. But you can have some water retention. You can have a lot of different body fluctuations going on, and it could throw you off on the scale. I always implore everybody to not just use the scale as a point of measurement. Use different points of measurement. Video record yourself in the same lighting, in the same room, standing in the same position, using a mirror. Video record yourself from the front, from the sides, once a week, in the same day, every week, like Friday or whatever. And check your clothing. Check to see how they fit you. Check to see clothes that maybe didn't fit you before. See if you could put them on now. See if you could put them on comfortably now. See if you could put them on and that they look normal on you and you don't look like, it doesn't look like it's super tight on you. Do things to just not only measure the weight on the scale, but measure your body fat percentage as well, because body fat could be reducing. Remember, I showed you what 5 pounds of body fat looks like, and it was like this much, right? So just imagine if you're just losing this much of fat, that's a lot of fat, right? Visually speaking, this could be spread throughout your lower belly, all over your body, but this won't even be a pound. Right? This won't even be a pound. It'll be very small. So you have to think about that. You have to think about the weight of fat and how much mass it takes to even be a pound. You could be losing fat underneath, but there's always going to be somewhat of a slowdown no matter what in terms of your weight loss. You're not going to be losing as much weight as fast no matter what you do as when you first started. The smaller you are, the slower the weight loss will be. All right. Hopefully this video has helped you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Every day we got a video here on Fledge Fitness, so please hit that like button. And if you want to get the videos every day, because I don't drop them at the same time every day, so you never know when Fledge Fitness is dropping, hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell icon and then hit the all notification indicator so that you can get all notifications when I drop a video. And thank you so much in advance if you are going to do that. If you're doing it right now, wow, thank you so much. That's super quick. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next video, or in the next video. In the next video, I'll see you guys. Peace.